Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. This has been something I've been wanting to do for a while, kind of like a comedy themed episode, kind of like some stand-up comedy overall, cracking jokes about my life, because I feel like that there's some things that y'all should know about. I don't know if I do good with this one, then I'll do more, because I seriously, my whole life has been a movie. I tell you guys that, right? For those that know me, you know that if somebody were to come up to me, like if somebody held a gun at me and said, "Tell me a story about your life right now," they would have had to pull up a chair and overall just take the ski mask off, put the gun down. They would have had to hear everything that I had to talk about. What was the chunk from the Goonies, and there was that scene when they were gonna blend his hand. That overall, if I had to fit into any character in the Goonies or just in any movie universe, it's Chunk from the Goonies. But I'm I can tell y'all a story about myself, no problem at all. And that's another thing. I'm that's why I really want to do improv comedy. I remember I kind of did it wasn't really an assignment, but it was some exercise in this speech and debate class when I was in high school. It was this improv comedy. We had to improvise a scene, but it was freeze improvise or something. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I remember they have it where two people would be up in front of the class, and then they'd be giving off some improvised scenario, and then somebody stand up, yell out freeze, go up on stage. I went up on there, I think maybe 2-3 times, and had the whole classroom cracking up. That's one memorable moment that I've had from my whole school experience. I don't remember too many things from school. I choose not to remember too many things from school. That's why people ask me school related questions. That's why I'm to any high school followers that I have, it would not be your best idea to ask me anything that has to do with school. You'd better cheat, go on a website and try to figure out the assignments, because if anybody, and I always brag about how good I was in math. I don't think y'all don't understand, what math class, I was in, the multicultural grade or multi-gradual classes and stuff. We had all the grades. We had freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. It was pretty much it was the special ed class. I was in the special ed math. So I was doing the multiple. I wasn't doing geometry and all these other high-end math classes and things. I think they overall knew who I was, and I started arguing with a teacher being in the classroom like that. Yeah, I'm not cut out for them smart end classes and things. That's why I was I sucked at history and science. History and science, those is the worst classes to possibly have. Because I knew I wasn't going to carry that stuff out of school and things. So I'm why do I got to take this class serious? Why are we learning so much about history? I'm saying these are things that we could just go online and figure out ourselves. What was George Washington doing back in the day? I know he didn't have no Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or any of that stuff. What were they doing back in the day? I feel when you're sitting around bored, not doing nothing, that's when you start learning about history. But to be forced to sit in the classroom for an hour and a half learning about history, it ain't interesting. It ain't interesting at all. They need to have more interesting. They need to have some fictional history stuff. They need to show Django Unchained in the classroom or something. I feel then I'm okay, you see Jamie Foxx on the screen, then it might raise the suspicion. It might be wait a second, why let me see why they got Jamie Foxx on the screen. Let me see what they got going on. But other than that, I'm when you just got some knockoff George Washingtons, some knockoff Abraham Lincolns, them the only presidents I really know by heart. I don't know no other presidents' names by heart. Does anybody who just sits around and be bragging about, I know every single president? I'm sorry, but I'm I haven't seen multiple president movies in history classes. The only ones I know about is George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. I think the only reason why I know them so much because throughout my whole life, I've always had $1 bills and $5 bills. $10 bills, 20s, and 50s and 100s. They're usually in a bank account where I've spent them already. I got a serious, I'm a flat out admit it. I got a serious spending problem. Like I like it even during this whole like quarantine situation. I'm like, I gotta buy something. I sat there and was buying video games. I was like, wasn't even gonna I wanted to play, like I've been wanting to play like a new video game for a while, but I just didn't like overall know like what game should I play, you know? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm sitting here buying like video games didn't even need to buy. Like I bought these like one like movie like games. I'm like, I could have just overall watched these movies and stuff in the scenarios on YouTube. Like that's the worst part about buying stuff is when you buy it not realizing that you could have just got it for free. Like I just recently did that with Spider-Man Far From Home. I bought that movie maybe like a last week, couple of weeks. I think no, it was last week, beginning of last week. I bought that movie just to find out that it's on demand. I have cable, and I'm like, I could have just very well watched it right then and there. I like that. I seen that, and I'm like, I didn't want to show off that I was mad, but at the same time, I'm like, are you serious? I wasted $21.99 when I could have just watched this movie for free $99. That's messed up. That's seriously messed up. That's why I'm like, that's why I don't really like buying video games that much. Like, if it's a new game, then I'll buy it. But if it's a game that's kind of been out for a while, knowing my luck, I'll buy the game. Next day, Xbox is like, oh, we giving away this game for free. Everybody can download it. That's happened to me. That's happened to me where I've sat there and I've bought in a game maybe a couple of months down the road, like not that soon after, but sometime after, they would have it where the game's out for free. I remember that. I'll never forget. I was like, I could have married that woman in Gamestops. I should have gotten down on one knee and married her. I probably would have had a much more successful love life. But anyways, I remember I went in there. I think it was for my birthday, and I asked her like, oh, do you guys got this game? She was like, no, that game's for free on the Xbox right now, or it might have been PlayStation, whichever one. But anyways, so she was, she said it was free, and I'm like, wow, like any other person, if it had been like this like fat dude with a ponytail that I met in GameStop some years ago, he probably would have had me buy, or no, he would have did what he did to this old dude and prevented him from buying the video game. I think I might have talked about him before, but if not, so just talking about the fat dude with the ponytail and things, that's what I refer. I ain't gonna refer to him as a name or anything. I ain't even gonna come up with a name. Fat dude with ponytail, that's his name. But anyways, so I remember the first interaction I had with them, I remember I went in there to buy Saints Row the Third. So overall, yeah, I got this money and things. I think, what did I do? How did I get the money? Because I was in high school, so I was kind of broke back then. I was selling video games to get some games and then begging my parents. I can't remember how I got that game, but I think it was with my own money and stuff. But usually it led into somehow my parents giving me the money and then so on. So, but technically it was mine. It was mine. But anyways, all right. Enough about high school. But anyways, I'm probably going to end up talking about high school. But so, I go in there, I ask, I'm like, hey, do you have Saints Row the Third? So this is what I was going to do, because I'm like, I know I could get it at a cheaper price if they have it for a used copy. I was buying used games for the longest and things. I still do. I'm like, yo, if I could get stuff at a cheaper price, I'm still going to, and there ain't nothing wrong with it. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to buy it and stuff. So anyways, I asked him for it. He's bringing it out, but he was committed on having me buy the silver Gamestops card. So what is the silver Gamestops card? So it's this card that you end up paying $15 for. You get video games there for a much more lower price. You build up these points. So eventually you can use those points to buy like a coupon, like a $5 or a $10 coupon and stuff. So yeah, you're doing that, right? Me, I ain't come up there for that. I came up there for a video game. Why would I come all the way up? Why would I save up that much money to get a game? And then why would I do that and then just to turn around and buy a card? Can you play a card? Can you put this silver GameStops card in the Xbox and start playing this card? Is this card going to have the game on there that I want to get? He really tried telling me, oh, well, you could come up here another time. I'm like, see, here's the problem. what you don't understand. There ain't gonna be no other time, because it's gonna have to be numerous times of me asking my parents, hey, can I have some money for a video game? Them telling me no a bunch of times, then me doing unnecessary amounts of work around the house that I don't really want to do. So now I'm gonna have to do all of that stuff, then eventually build up to it, so then they have to come up here and then buy the game. I'm not trying to go through all of that. I'm already up here. I want to get this game. That's all I want. So anyways, I told him, I was just like, bro, you can't play no card, but you can play this video game. So stop trying to hassle me on trying to buy this card. I don't want no card. I kid you guys not. This man was upset. I'm like, bro, sit down and think about it. You just came all the way up to Gamestops. This is all the money that you got right now. Would it make any sense if there's a game that you really wanted to play, you overall and then you change your mind and want to get the card? That's why I'm like, bro, if I was a WWE wrestler, I would have slammed you. Here's the thing. I wanted to kind of go to my roots, because my dad, when people make him mad, because I hadn't heard some stories about my dad. He ain't gone into places and then slam things, knock stuff over. I think my dad, he lives in me, and in some part of my head, he was all like, do it. Knock something over, please. Make me proud. I want you to. But then I probably would have gotten banned from that store, so I don't really go in there anymore. People always had attitudes in that store. I think I went in there one time, and I was trying to explain to the guy, I pre-ordered a game, and he was mad, because I was just like, wait, because I don't know, he must have thought I was trying to scam him. I'm like, nah, bro, I bought the game, I have the receipts and stuff, but I wanted a digital version. I didn't want a disc version and stuff. And I think he was really thinking I was trying to scam him. I'm like, bro, look, I'm working, I'm making money. I don't need to scam people. I don't need to download music illegally off of LimeWire and any other websites anymore. I make money, so I'm I can pay for subscriptions and all this other stuff. I ain't got to get things for free or scam people anymore, so... But yeah, I'm fat dude with ponytail. Then there was another time, I remember an old dude came in there trying to get a video game for his grandson or son. I don't know. That old dude could have been living a different life than other old people. But anyways, he goes in there trying to ask the dude for a video game. I'm in there just looking, browsing around. I'm I'm not overall going to buy anything. No, this dude's in here. I ain't buying nothing from him. So anyways, I go, I'm in there browsing. Old dude comes in there. I think he was asking for Resident Evil 4 or 5. This guy, I kid you not, was fat dude with ponytail. I kid you not. He told the guy, don't buy this game. Buy this other one. That's better. So let me get this straight. Let's just say, just a wild guess, right? Just a wild guess. What if the kid already had that version, and since this new version came out, follow me on this one, maybe he wanted to play the new version because he was a really big fan of the old one, so now he wants to play the new one. I'm saying, I could have been a magician or a wizard coming up with some stuff like that, because I'm why would somebody come all the way up there to get the old one when most likely this old one has been out for some time? Now that the new one is out, he wants to play that one. Old dude didn't even buy the game. He just walked out. I'm shout out to the old dude. I don't know I don't remember what you look like, but if I were to remember, I'd definitely give you a hug. I'm you did the right thing. Walk out. Don't even give the man no business. Go to the Target down the mall and stuff, but don't give him no business and things. But yeah, GameStops. Sometimes there'd be some cool people in GameStops though. There's times where I've just sat in there and just talked with them. I was I ain't walked out. I'm wait a second. I was supposed to get a video game, right? I ain't walked all the way up here and then had a bonding moment with them and stuff. I remember one of my friends, he worked up there, and I'm well, that's a bad idea. I'm I ain't really going there that much, because I'm no, we're gonna get carried away. We gonna mess around, go in the back, be playing video games. He ended up getting fired and stuff, and I'm it'd be a bad idea. It's a really bad idea when one of your best friends works somewhere and then you know of it. I'm saying, that's why I'm I want my friends to get jobs where the public ain't even allowed in there. Work for the military or something. Be a soldier or something. I'm that. Then I'm okay, I can't really run off up in there and have fun with you. But GameStops, come on, bro. You could have chose. You shouldn't have done that to me. But nah, I was strong about it. I ain't going there. I seen him a few times in there though, but there's like cool people though. Like I'm like there's like bad people, but there's also cool people that work at GameStops. Like I remember there's a one guy. I was like I don't know if they should have maybe hired him. Like I didn't want to be the one to judge and stuff, but anyways, so I go in there. I was buying Destiny. I think I was in there buying Destiny. Kid you not, this guy, he gave me back the wrong change. But it wasn't like he shortchanged me. No, this dude was about to give me like $50. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. I gave you 30. I think what it was that the change back was $5. But then he added 45 to it. And I'm like, no, wait a second, hold on. No, this is too much. This is too much. Like, what are you doing? Turns out they said that he got fired from another job and then they just hired him. I'm like, y'all should have made sure he knew how to count. Like, I don't think that's the best idea to hire somebody if he about to, you guys are gonna be out of business. Like, I mean, that ain't cool. But nah, it's like see, here's the thing though, when they be getting fired from places, like you gotta be careful about it. Like that dude seemed like he was cool, so there was nothing to worry about. But I never forget. There is this like clothing store. I'm really cool with the people in there and the whole family and stuff. So there was a time I was just like, I asked the dude in there in the clothing store, I'm like, hey, you want some coffee or something? So yeah, he was all like, yeah, sure, get some coffee. So I go, there was like this, like, it wasn't even Starbucks. I think the place, it was like, I can't remember the name of it. It was just like some like generic looking, it used to be a Starbucks, but then I think Starbucks sold that location to some like, indie like coffee spot and stuff. So anyways, I go in there and things. I think what was he? I don't remember what he was trying to get. Like I probably even then I was just like, you know what? Because I don't even know if I was like, I don't even know what kind of coffee I was gonna get him. So I ended up eventually getting him one of them like little frappuccino coffee drink things and Target and stuff. But but I'm going to this coffee spot, right? I hear yelling, so I'm like, when you hear yelling and things, it doesn't really, at least for black people, they don't really faze you. You might be curious to see what's going on, but at the same time, you might just be all like, look, if you used to yelling, like, I'm a person that yells. Like, yelling is my, like, second, like, like, form of language and things. Like, it's like English and then yelling English. Yelling English is my second form of language and stuff. I speak fluently in yelling English. But so anyways, I'm like, oh, it don't seem like nothing. I couldn't even really make out what she was saying. Like, the woman was kind of, like, screaming like the Tasmanian devil and stuff. But anyways, so I go over there. They must have fired her. They must have fired her because she's going off on everybody. There's like one person in the back like holding their hands out like, wait a minute, chill. Like, you ain't even got to do all of this right now. She's just yelling, screaming, going off on everybody. So, of course, like, once again, black people being black people, I had to stand there and watch for a little bit. I had to. Like, if you, like, look, all right, once you realize what's going on, then that's when you're like, oh, okay, like, I got to stand here and watch this, get entertained. Like, it's just funny, though. It's like where it's like every other race, they would usually walk by them and things. You know what? Here's the thing. I have to say, and I ain't trying to call out white people, but it's usually white people that do stuff like that where they would overall like just like walk past, look, I'm like, oh, what's going on over there? Black people, we stand there and we watch. We watch. We don't even care if they see us or not. We stand there. We pull out phones. We record. We watch. We don't care. Like that's just who we are. And I'm like, it's something where I'm like, it's like we grew up in that environment, so we overall know what we ain't gonna be a victim or anything unless this person pulls out a gun, and then that's when we start running. But until then, yeah, if it's just people yelling and screaming and stuff, like yeah, we haven't seen, like, that's the thing though, we're used to it, but we don't see it that often. So when we do get a chance to see it, we will try to look like we ain't paying attention to them, but we are. We'll start, like, we go and pull out a napkin out of our pocket, start wiping the ground, but we're still kind of, like, giving them a side eye, looking to see what's over there. All right, we'll get one of them little Swiffer things, starts cleaning the windows and stuff, but we still kind of giving them side eye, looking and stuff. We'll go get, like, a rope, try to, like, throw it over something so we can try to, like, climb up on top of something, get the dust off and things, but we still giving them side eye. We still looking at things. That's just who we are. We gotta look. I don't know how many times, like, in my neighborhood when we ain't heard, like, yelling, screaming. Like, I remember I never forget these one neighbors when she threatened to pull a knife out and stab the dude. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. We were all kind of like out there looking and stuff. We were like hiding. It was like, that's when you know, like, when you like a straight up, like, strong, nosy person. I was in the house hiding, inside of the comfort of my own home, hiding, but also trying to look out the window and stuff. Like, why am I hiding in my own house? They ain't gonna see me through the wall. Like, that's, I'm like, it's funny when black people, when we do like certain things, like, we don't realize we doing it because we so caught up on the main thing that we focusing on. But it's, yeah, black people, we different, but it's a good different and stuff. But until it's one of us, then it's like, that's why I felt like the website Worldstar, where it got started. It all started off with us paying attention to things, but then once when we got involved, then that's, yeah, Worldstar. If you ain't never been on Worldstar before, that's like rated R YouTube. Worldstar, they ain't posted so many crazy. I had to stop watching Worldstar videos and things. I'm like, I'm gonna mess around and like just like this stuff is gonna get to me. Like, I'm gonna straight up suffer from PTSD watching Worldstar videos. They like, I always was watching, like, I remember they started when they was posting like Vine compilations on Worldstar. That's when it seemed like a lot of people really started paying attention to them, because on YouTube, because no, the Worldstar videos was also being posted on YouTube, and they was doing these Vine compilations, because like Worldstar, they post like the more realistic videos. YouTube got its thing going on too. Like, I'm a YouTuber, but I try to like be real about my videos, you know. But I'll do my comedy skits, I'll do my jokes, I'll do my laughs and all that stuff. But YouTube, it's just a different environment. It's not the same. Like, when you go on the Worldstar, then you're like, you feel more at home. That's like, I feel like YouTube, that's like your friend's house. But then Worldstar, that's your cousin's house. That's when you're like, oh, okay, we family, so we do whatever we want inside. But your friend's house, you're gonna be respectful and stuff. You can't do certain things in there. But in your cousin's house, oh yeah, you're gonna be having fun in there and stuff. So, but no, Worldstar, to explain to you guys what Worldstar is, they post like fight compilations. So like, that was my thing. Like, I never really got to see a whole lot of fights growing up at my school and things. Like, fights, I either missed it or it didn't happen. I think I might have seen like 2 or 3 fights throughout the whole time I've been in school and stuff. Like, maybe more, I don't know, but you don't see too many fights. You don't see too many fights where I'm from and stuff. So, but Worldstar, that's where I feel like Worldstar, it was very popular in my, like, where I was from and stuff, because they everybody was watching one of them fight compilations and things. We were always, I think. And then on top of that, fights didn't really happen at the schools I went to. They happened at all the schools around us, but except the schools that I went to. I'll never forget, there's this one high school. It's Federal Way High School. I kid you not, it looked like a full-out prison riot on one of the fight videos I seen there. I kid you guys not, everybody was fighting. The teachers was fighting, the students was fighting, the lunch ladies was fighting, the coaches, everybody was fighting. I'm like, what is going on? Who started this? What is the reason? Everybody, relax. It's gonna be like everybody when you see that everybody is fighting, that's when you're like, what is going on right now? It was, man, that was one of the funniest videos I think I've seen from that school. It's crazy, that school. They put way too much money into that school. At my high school, they never put no money. I remember the only thing they did while we was there was paint the doors. That's all that they did. For those that went to Thomas Jefferson High School, you know exactly what they never did anything. Like, they did, like, I remember the one, it was crazy though. I'll never forget when they celebrated beating Federal Way High School in a football game. They had it as like a bulletin thing on this little board in the hallway and stuff. It was like, they might still have it up there too. I don't know. But anyways, I remember I think it was my freshman year, they were blowing it up. They were talking about, oh yeah, we beat Federal Way High School. But I'm like, y'all haven't won a trophy since since 1980. I'll never forget. There's a name. Who knows? They might have won some trophies since I've been gone from TJ and stuff. But ever since they were always talking about how they were losing games. That's why the one coach there, what was that dude's name? I can't even think of his name. But that dude, he was one of the angriest coaches I've ever seen. I mean, what was that one coach that used to coach the 49ers? That man was breaking headsets. That was pretty much the coach at my school. That was pretty much like his brother or something. Because that coach, I'll never forget, there was one time he came to school with a neck brace. From like, and he had to been yelling. I remember because I had him as a history teacher. I'm like, out of all the people you guys had teach history, like, you're gonna have this man, like, he gonna get, I'm telling you, he's gonna get mad at somebody one day. But nah, he was cool and things. I remember he snapped at me one time. I just kind of laughed about it. I'm like, bro, you stop it. Like, that's when you know you're dealing with a crazy child, when they start laughing in your face about what you yelling about and things. He got in my face and started yelling about something, and I'm like, all right, bro. Do your thing. Like, I ain't, cause I know you be dealing with some stuff. I know you're a little mad right now, but do your thing, bro. I ain't gonna cross in between that. But no, I remember there was a time, cause there was like a college student there. He had a college student teaching us. He wasn't teaching us himself. He had a college student teaching us. So anyways, college student, he's teaching us. He's up at the front of the classroom saying some old history stuff. All of a sudden, because I wasn't paying attention to what the football coach / history teacher was doing. So he goes and he's sitting there and he's just all like, just on the computer, just chilling. All of a sudden, he stands up and he's like mad. He's like, how you strike out? And I'm like, wait a minute. We, like, the whole class just started focusing on him. Even the, like, college student, we're all looking at him. He storms out the classroom and he's out in the hallway yelling, cussing, kicking the door. He had to go take a walk. Ain't none of us checked on him. We were all like, what just happened? It got to the point we was all laughing. Like, we was all cracking up. If he had came to that class, he probably had sent us all to detention. He was like, nah, even the college student. He was like, you don't even go here, but you going to detention. Everybody, get out of this classroom right now. I'm like, yeah, he was, that teacher, he didn't really teach us I think he was gone for a while. I remember it was just that college guy that was teaching us and things. I'm like, man, that guy, I'll be doing okay now. It was like, he just seemed like he was like very stressed out about things. I'm like, bro, you need to relax. Freaking drink a Red Bull, eat a Snickers, do something. But anyways, that is all the time I got for you guys. Until next time, I'm probably just gonna do some more of these like comedy like episodes and things. But one thing's for sure, this is all improvised. I'm not gonna really write down any jokes. Anything that I think of, I'm just gonna start talking about it and stuff. So I feel like that type of comedy is the best comedy. I love doing improvised things. So everything I do is improvised. I don't write down no scripts for nothing. If I do, it's like I don't even follow it. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching this episode of TMossBoss Show. Like and subscribe if you're viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And when this whole quarantine situation is lifted up, make sure you guys use my promo code TMossBoss to knock $20 off your first purchase. And that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching it or listening, and peace.